Hey, welcome to Cody in the Cinema. I just finished David Lynch's Inland Empire, his longer film, what's sometimes called his most experimental. However, David Lynch says in the interview, the Criterion notes, what people really mean is that it's more abstract or it's non-linear or whatever, but it's not experimental. I don't think the film is experimental either. And I'm going to tell you my thoughts having just seen it and try to collect those into something resembling a coherent thought, because Inland Empire is quite unlike anything I've ever seen in my life, and I do mean quite unlike anything I've ever seen before, and that includes films like Eraserhead and Mulholland Drive, and I did do a Mulholland Drive video after I first watched that, my impressions. Inland Empire, to me, almost all works really well. I was so impressed with the visual, this is the most hypnotic nightmare I've ever seen on film. There are a few other films that kind of touched this or scratched the same part of my brain. There's a film called Alice where it's an Alice in Wonderland stop motion that feels like it's going into a special kind of hell. That sort of scratched that itch, and maybe one or two others. But I really felt like I was crossing different dimensions and realities and periods of time. And if you haven't heard of Inland Empire, don't know what it is, I'm just going to try to describe it a little bit off of the back, because this is a very difficult film to describe. Strange What Love Does, the role of a lifetime, a Hollywood mystery, a woman in trouble. This is Lynch's first digitally shot feature that makes a visionary use of the medium to weave a vast meditation on the enigma of time, identity, and cinema itself, with Laura Dern as the main character. And it's kind of like, she's sort of I'm really, it's hard to describe this film, but basically she's maybe sort of an actress, and she's working on this film project, and it looks like as part of this film project there's an actor who she may or may not fall in love with, and then there might be a jealous husband, and this is a remake of another film that didn't go well before and didn't get wrapped up before, and in that process there are different, there's another person watching a TV that might be watching Laura Dern's life play out, or vice versa. On the inside of the package, there's this AXX sort of ON that you see over and over again. There's some real bizarre visuals in here. There's some animal mask that scene is truly terrifying. And then there's maybe another country is brought up as possibly another part of the film's history, or the doppelganger. It's just, there's no way to put into words what the plot actually is. And I don't think if I watched this 10 or 11 or 12 times, I would really be able to grasp everything David Lynch was getting at. And that is both the film's greatest strength and greatest weakness for me, having watched it once. I really I could not latch on to any one part of this. I couldn't find myself really being able to hang with it too well, and that's both equal, good and bad for me as a viewer. There are times where I'm absolutely mesmerized and stunned at what I'm seeing, and then there are times I'm watching it and I just can't even, I just saw trail off mentally because I can't grasp it, I can't hold on to it. And that is usually the sign of very, very well made art. And make no mistake about it, this is a piece of art history in my mind, a film history in my mind, Inland Empire. It's so fascinating that it doesn't really matter that you can't hang with it if you're me. Now, some of you all might have just been I get the whole thing. I, top to bottom, I know exactly what he was doing. I couldn't, and that's okay. I can't, it's funny, I just finished this, and it was such a slog in a way. And I don't mean in a bad way. I'm not trying to be negative toward the film. I just mean my mind was being drained as I was watching it, because I'm watching this as someone who talks about movies on YouTube, and I'm I don't even know how I'm even going to put this into words. It was draining to try to figure out a way that I was going to express and evaluate or share my thoughts. And the less I tried to do that, the less it felt like a slog, and the more I was able to enjoy it, if that makes sense. And then I was able to be okay, I'm not smart enough for this or something. And after that happened, I think I was able to embrace for example, the great dances that happen. There's some prostitutes that are dancing multiple times in the film, and that angle's pretty good. There's a lot of positivity, I think, about working conditions in that way, and I appreciated that. The performances are absolutely terrific, and I had forgotten to look. Was Harry Dean Stanton in this? I feel like he was. I know Jeremy Irons was great in it as like this director, and I forgot who Laura Dern's the actor was beside her, but gosh, Laura Dern, like, one thing you will take away from Inland Empire, if nothing else, is like Laura Dern has continued, like, she's one of those actresses that every time I see her, she just climbs another step, another step. Marriage Story, right? The Adam Driver film. She was great in that. She's great in Jurassic Park. Just all these different films. And like this role and watching her do this made me respect her even more. She, I think, is one of the people who talked David Lynch into playing John Ford in The Fabelmans too, which I will always appreciate that she did that. That was sort of what got me interested in David Lynch, was that he cameoed so well as John Ford, a director who is like almost the polar opposite of him in some ways, although both had a great vision. And so Inland Empire, I like it best when it's scary. There is a real good like demented face thing in this. There are some, like, all of the times that Lynch plays with the lighting and puts you in these like Skinamarink style hells, I really liked, which I've heard that David Lynch likes Skinamarink, and I like Skinamarink, and I know that that's a very divisive horror movie. I think this is a better film than Skinamarink, but I can see why he would have liked that. And I truly felt like I was skipping between worlds, ideas, time periods, and I was losing my grasp on reality a little bit as I was watching it, to the point that, like I said, it was kind of weighing me down watching it. And that's one of the great contradictions about David Lynch, is that it can be frustrating to watch. It can be tiring to your mind, and then you eventually give in. And so I don't like Inland Empire as much as I liked Mulholland Drive or Eraserhead, but I'll watch it at least one more time, and you should definitely see it if you haven't. Those are my sort of scattered thoughts as far as the individual images. Like, I don't know, if you all have any brilliant thoughts, let me know, because this is my first encounter with this hallucinatory odyssey into the deepest realms of the unconscious mind, as my version puts it. If you liked the video today, or found it helpful, or if it got you interested in watching or rewatching David Lynch and you want to hit that thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on the film, and subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you next time, Cody in the Cinema.